You've got questions, we've got answers. Hi, I'm Kevin EIKENBERRY, answering the questions that new leaders ask us. Actually, it's our goal to help all leaders become more successful, productive, and confident. Today we're talking about helping without doing. Are you ready? Let's get started. I was recently asked a great question, an important question, and the person who asked was self-aware enough even in asking it. Here it is. It says, how can I help others without doing it for them? And if I do it, feeling taken advantage of? Well, I want to talk about the first part of that question. How do I help without doing? See, if you're a new supervisor, this is a sticky situation because, well, you want to help, right? And the thing that you're being asked to help with, you're good at, and you might even like doing it. And yet you know that that's not really your job anymore, that your job is to be helpful but not do it. Your job is to help other people get better. So doing it for them, while it might feel good to you in the short term and might even be what the other person thinks they want, isn't really serving anybody best, right? So what are things you can do? I think you can do 5 things. Number 1, be clear on purpose. Be clear on your purpose, and your purpose isn't to do it. Your purpose is to get other people productive and confident in doing this task. And it's like anything, and I can't teach you how to ride a bike by having you watch me. You have to have your butt on the seat. And so we've got to be really clear on our purpose, that our job here now is not to do it, but to help them be more successful. And second, be clear on expectations. Because let's be honest, when that person asks, they might really be asking, hoping you'll just go do it for them. So you've got to be clear with them. Say, yeah, I'm happy to help, but my job isn't to do it. My job is to be of assistance. My job is to provide you with some counsel, to provide you with some tips, and to be helpful, but not take over. So they may not love that, but get clear on the expectations. Now, first of all, by doing that, it will help them understand what you're doing. But secondly, by saying it before you dive in, improves the chances that you won't slip into doing. Number 3 is do a self-check. During the task, just ask yourself, okay, am I helping or am I doing? So just monitor yourself along the way and make sure if you're starting to do stuff that you back up. 4th, think coach, not colleague. Well, we may be colleagues, but we really have a role now of coaching them, being of assistance to them, being a resource to them, not picking up the hammer or putting our hands on the keyboard. So just think about your role, again, while you're doing it and while you talk about it ahead of time, as the coach rather than the colleague. And lastly, it's almost as simple as this. You've got to let them do it. At the end of the day, they're not going to learn it by watching you near as much as they will from doing it themselves. Yes, there's a role of observation and it can be helpful. But if you're asking yourself this question, they've probably already had time to observe. And if you really want that to be the way you're going to help, then even then you still have to set it up as coaching, not just them watching you. So 5 things to do. Be clear on your purpose, be clear on your expectations, do a self-check, think coach, not colleague, and then ultimately, if you want to help but not do, you've got to let them do it. Let me summarize with today's tweet. As a leader, be helpful, but don't do it for them. I hope this question has helped you. I hope my answer has helped you. We've talked about a fundamental role for us as leaders on this episode, and I hope that you found it useful. Listen, if you found this useful, there's a lot of other video, there's a lot of other great content on this site, and I hope you'll take advantage of that. There's also some things you can pay us for where we can be of greater help, and we'd love to help you in that way too, but please use this site as a resource for you to become more effective and become the leader you were born to be.